Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL segment, I want to be dissertating and talking about something other than my usual prediction segments. I want to talk about someone you might have heard of, a guy by the name of Richard Sherman. And, recently, we had, at least as far as public perception, somewhat of a tirade on a post-game interview I had with Erin Andrews, and a lot has been made of this, and a lot of I think there seems to be a consensus that thinks like he was so over the top and everything in this. Well, here's the thing, people. Now, Richard Sherman reacted, with a lot of strong, powerful emotions in his reaction, but I think the media has the tendency to enlarge and distort maybe things a little bit, and people are so compelled to want to make a story and headlines. What I look at it is this: okay, he reacted a little bit stronger than he should have, and I understand that Erin Andrews may have been taken aback by this somewhat, but I think that's really part of the reason why the story became enlarged more than it really, maybe needed to be. More on the reaction that Erin Andrews seemed, almost petrified, by, how Richard Sherman acted when he was speaking into the, into the camera and microphone or whatever. And what this was is a lot of this was due to a contentious, I guess you could say, situation between himself and Michael Crabtree, the wide receiver for the 49ers. And unfortunately it culminated in, Richard Sherman, acting, very, becoming vociferous and very loud and, somewhat acerbic maybe. But I think what people have to realize is that Richard Sherman, is really a very intense, competitive, passionate person, and he always leaves something out there on the field, and as emotional as his response might have been after the game, people have to understand the magnitude of that game when he made that pretty much that deflection that led to an interception and that preserved the victory for the Seattle Seahawks. It got him into the Super Bowl. This was the NFC Championship game, mind you. So I look at this as, obviously this had been something brewing between Sherman and Crabtree for some time, but I think, maybe a little more could have possibly been made out of it than it actually was. And Sherman did offer, a response, apology, for how, he acted, which I understand was somewhat wrong, but at the same time I think a little more was made out of it than it actually was, than what it really was. So all in all, people have to realize that there's no infallible person, and that there's, everybody makes mistakes, and for somebody to react in an emotional, intense way after a game, a game-ending play that, got the team and basically gave the team assurance of going to the big game, aka the Super Bowl, it shouldn't, be magnified more than what it actually was. And I think that's what very well happened in this, in that play. I mean, in that moment. The one thing I can't doubt about Richard Sherman is his zeal and his fiery competitiveness, and that he plays the game with such aggression and assertiveness, and just always seems to go all out on virtually every play, if not every play. And he's not the kind of person to take a back seat. He's always going to be outspoken and forthright and speak his mind. And went a little over the top maybe, in that post-game interview with Erin Andrews, but that's all, that was, I believe. And obviously, maybe the one good thing in this maybe this will carry over, this passion that we saw in that post-game interview will carry them over into the Super Bowl, and really, at the very least, give the Denver Broncos Seattle give the Denver Broncos a very good competitive battle. Well, people, that's it for this segment. For YouTube NFL analyst, aka Edwin Learnard. And until next time, people, stay well.